Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Pornstar Confessions. Today I'm super excited. I've got Tony Genius. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So, where did the Tony Genius come from?
My career started in Atlanta. I actually started as a stripper. I wasn't. I had friends who were in the porn industry. I just didn't feel like that was something for me to start. And so when I got in, my real name is Anthony, and so a nickname that I went by when I met a friend of mine that had this like underground stripping event that he was doing, and it was just all black male review. And I was like, okay, I can do that. It's like underground. It's not recorded. It's not public. And so I started there, and they were like, "You need a name," and I was like, "Okay, well, I don't really have an idea of a name, but they're like, we can just go by like Tony, and like, what's your last name?" And so I told my last name. He's like, "Okay, well, you'll just be Tony G," and I was like, "Okay, I can run with that." And so for Tony G, I did that for a couple years while I was stripping. I moved from underground to commercial work at Swingin' Richards. I did at Atlanta. I also did BJ Roosters, and then I'd go down to South Florida and work at Johnson's. And so eventually from there, I just decided one day I started escorting. I started working outside the club, and I was like, is this something I can do publicly? Is this something I can do that I'm okay with it being all over the internet? And I know I have to come up with a full name. I always seen that people had a full first and last name usually. So I was like, let me just come up with this G. I need to turn it into something. What would be a genius last name? And I was like, well, there it is. It's genius. Just let it be genius.
All right. All right. I like that. So, when did you first start stripping? Well, how old are you now?
I'm 33.
Oh, God, you're a baby still. Okay. So, how old were you when you started stripping then?
I didn't start getting into adult work until late 20s. After I guess I got
Oh,
all of my crazy partying out of the way, all of my like fallacies and learning who I was and what I wanted to do. So I kind of already had a business mind because I was already working in the entertainment business and music. I was writing music for film and television. I actually got to write for a couple big artists. I also got to open for quite a few artists on tours and stuff. So I was already kind of business minded, just in a way different sense.
hmm.
And so when I got into stripping, it was just kind of like in Atlanta, it was in 2019, right before the pandemic. So just,
Okay.
5 years ago. Um, and I did that for a couple years before, I finally decided after pandemic ended, I moved from Atlanta back to LA. I was living in LA before I moved to Atlanta. Um, and then that's when it began. I was like, I need to take this seriously. I reached out to Fab Scout. I got an agent. And he was who really helped introduce me to the industry. Um, I have, some history about joining. Like when I first started, I had half blonde hair. It looked just like this, but about half of it was all blonde. So I was not getting booked. No companies wanted to book my look. They were like, this look is distracting. Even though he's a new guy, he looks good. His body looks good. He has everything to offer as far as that goes. The hair is too distracting. And so for a
Yeah.
little bit, I was going back and forth with Howard, feeling some type of way personally, like a prejudice almost. Like, well, what's the issue with me having this blonde hair when I see other guys can have like blonde or brunette or whatever, and they can switch it up and they get to work. But the difference was it was like they're established already. They've already been in the industry. They've already created
Hmm.
that name for themselves, so it's different. And so I had to learn how to get over that, I don't know, pride in myself that I don't care what they think. I'm going to do it this way, and this is how it's going to be done. And I decided just to cut it off. I cut the blonde off. I was like, you know what? If it doesn't work, I can reblonde my hair. It will be fine. And then as soon as I did that, it was like boom, bookings, bookings, bookings. It just snowballed like so fast. And I was like, well, for a business move, I got to get rid of it, and this is going to be Tony
Yeah.
Genius. This is going to be his brand.
Yeah, no, everyone deals with that on one level or another. Like a lot of people want to get tattoos, but they can't because their bookings will go to shit,
Yep.
or I remember when I first got in, I wanted to go by Masculine Jason, and the studios were like, "Nope, you have to pick a normal name." I was like, "Well, what about all these other guys like,
Yeah.
Sergeant Miles and Silver Steel? That's not a real fucking name." And I got the same answer you did. They're like, "Nope, you got to pick Jason Collins." I'm like, "Fuck."
Uh,
So yeah,
yeah. No, the tattoos is another thing. Yeah. If I ever started getting tattoos, there was also discussions I've heard of. I would stop getting as much bookings.
yeah.
So, not that I'm
So
interested anyway, but
what made you leave music though?
the pandemic, I mean, I think that kind of shifted a lot of people's focus. During the time of the pandemic, you weren't, there was no concerts anymore. There was no events. There was no live events. There was some virtual events I did. I did a few virtual events, and I'm also on YouTube. My music is available on YouTube. Like I have music videos, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm planning to
Wow.
do now is integrate that back into who I am because that's a totally different alias. My music pseudonym is Prada Gino, whereas for entertainment purposes, adult entertainment, it's Tony Genius. So I'm figuring out a way starting this year to integrate those brands and make them one. So then Tony Genius will just incorporate everything, and so it will be an interesting collaborative effect because people that know me from the music don't know anything about this side. So, and then also vice versa. And so
Yeah.
it just will create this, good feedback, bad feedback. It will create the press that I'm hoping, will help me win on both sides, sell
Yeah.
records and also, bring those people over and they not feel so weird about me doing what I'm doing on the other side.
Yeah, well, they'll feed off of each other.
Yeah.
And
And that's why
one
I was like,
thing,
there's no reason for me to quit because I have a creative genius that works and it's sellable and I'm able to sell work to people. And so it's like, don't just stop. There's no reason to
yeah,
just stop. So like finally I've felt like it's time to, integrate them now that I'm in a comfortable space and I've built this business on this side as well.
yeah. Well, one thing I gotta really give you props on, and I noticed this before I even reached out to you to interview you, but you're one of the very, very few creators who, let's say, diversifies your product offerings because so many performers out there, they just got an OnlyFans account and that's it, and like nothing else. Whereas you are like, posting to Pornhub, you're posting clips for sale, you're on Camp you like, dude, you're. I mean, I was like, okay, this dude is taking this serious.
Yeah. It's funny. I had another major performer. He's not really a studio performer, but he's, a creator. He manages so many performers now. And I met with him last year at the Grabby Awards, and he sat down and wanted to talk to me before we collabed. And the most interesting question to me that he asked me was, "Do you think you're doing too much?" And I felt like that's an interesting question to ask in the business that we're in because most people don't have longevity in this business
Hmm.
or people are using it to supplement something else like income or a feel or they need whatever they want to pay for something and they do it for that. So it's like most people don't get to live this lifestyle and be on top of their game for more than probably like 2-3 years usually, and I'm at the almost 3 year mark. So to me, it makes no sense to just be like, I only want to do one thing and limit myself because the whole market isn't on OnlyFans. The whole market isn't on just for fans only. Clip stores are always good because then people can come in and just get whatever they want. They don't have to feel like they have to subscribe to something. And then of course, camming. I always want to have like with Cam 4, the reason I work with them is they take me on trips all the time. And I don't even cam that much to be honest, but they like my personality. They like having me on camera. They like to do events with me. I went to Jamaica with them. I just was on a national television show that comes out next year. In St. Martin, we went for a week with a bunch of other major porn stars, like the top of the game guys. And that's coming out on TV next year, and it brings us like our not safe for work into the safe for work space. So I'm like always trying to figure out ways to expand my business and to be relatable to other people that I feel like are in my position and be able to understand and learn how they did it. And because all of our stories are so different and everyone has a
Yeah.
different market. Like Emma Rose, like I just worked with her for Trans Angels. Emma Rose introduced me to um, Buddy Profits, and it's their affiliate program with a bunch of studios. Like all these studios will pay you to promote your own work. You get revenue shares, or you can get
Mhm.
sign up, a percentage of all the signups. So you choose however you want to promote. And so now when I'm promoting my studio work, I'm getting paid. It's no longer just like,
Yeah.
okay, I got a flat rate to shoot the scene. Now they realize that I can market it, and I have a fan base that loves to see me doing this, and they know if I can promote everything and make money off it, why not promote everything?
Yeah. Absolutely. Very impressive. I mean, the thing I always tell people is I'm like, let's say that you own Coca-Cola, right?
Hmm.
Would you just put yourself in McDonald's and one grocery store chain, or would you put yourself in every single possible restaurant, grocery store that'll carry you? Because it allows
Right.
you maximum market penetration.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and I think it's important. I have people tell me all the time that they can't get OnlyFans. So like, oh my God, when I first only had OnlyFans, like, because at first like, that's all I had. I thought this is it. The market wants you to have OnlyFans, and I got in to OnlyFans and like collabing with people after the rush, like after everyone got in 2018, 19, 20, when it was really hitting. I came in 2021. I came in right after the rush. So I had, I've been working so hard to build, you know, a following, and now I have a specific niche, monthly release schedule that everyone really likes. Like they get 4 fuck videos, a month with, features with other people. And then you get 4 solos, you get 8 videos a month for whatever,
yeah,
$10. So I have a lot of people that do like that. And now that works. It's just solid. It works. No one questions
yeah,
it. There's never any issues. And then I have my free page if people want to pay for the clips for that way, if they don't want to go to many vids, or if they don't want to have a clip for sale store or sheer or
mhm,
whatever. But I keep all the options open because some of the payment systems in certain countries don't accept OnlyFans or don't accept Just for
yeah,
Fans or don't allow the payment systems. They don't work. So some of these other ones are foreign. Like Friends to Follow is one of my favorite ones. It's based out of the Netherlands. Last year, it was awarded at the XBiz Creator Awards in Europe as like the new emerging site of the year. So I was like, this is a good time to get in with this company. And then I reached out to the owner, and he was like, let's push it. Like I'll help you promote it. You promote me, we'll promote your posts, we'll put you as affiliate. And yeah, I think
would
that
you say it was
all this
called Friends to Follow?
Friends to Follow, f2f.com. Yeah, it's like the simple
Oh,
URL.
okay. I wanted to talk to you about that after the interview because I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Are you on Fap House?
Mm-mm. I've been reached out
That
to
is a good
recently.
one.
I was reached out to by loyal fans, and then also FanView. FanView is offering me like, we won't take any commission for the first year to get me on there. And I'm like, yeah, but I still have to like sit and upload and upload. And that year's time is
Yeah.
going to take me to really build it. So it's not going to be like I'm really going to benefit from the first year. The second year, I'll
Loyal
probably
fans,
really benefit.
yeah, loyal fans really isn't worth the time it would take to upload. I
Right.
just have loyal fans as a backup in case the other sites go down or they
Yeah.
decide they don't like sex workers.
Well,
Fab House, though, is definitely worth your time. Fab
okay.
House is like the paid version of X Hamster.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, because like if I can like Friends to Follow, when you, let's say you start an account, you can import every video you've ever made on your OnlyFans or on your Just for Fans and start your account immediately with 500 videos. That's why I really loved it. I jumped on there and immediately filled
Wow.
my whole wall with hundreds and hundreds of posts from my OnlyFans. I just pulled I don't remember how they tell you, explain how to do it, and you
Yeah.
go in, you take the CVS or whatever, CV files that
Yeah.
has all the individual stuff, and you push it over there, and they do it, and it's just boom, all the stuff comes out. It's crazy. And so yeah, I
Wow.
did
Okay.
that with them. So I love that, and they're at all the expos too. They're really trying to grow and build. And I'm racking up euros. They pay me in euros, which is fine. I connect my bank to swipe or whatever, and then I can transfer the money to myself. But I like having euros because then I can do euro trips with the money.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So going back in time, though, I'm curious. How did you make that first step? Like, walk me through what went through your mind when you're like, "Oh, well, this place is safe because no one's taking pictures, there's no photographic evidence, right?" And then, like,
Right.
walk me through that, up till, "Fuck it, let's go all in and show everything."
Yeah, so I was working in the strip club in Atlanta. As I said, there's two really popular places. One was Swingin' Richards, which was much more popular than another more hole in the wall, but was there longer, called BJ Roosters. And so I'd go back and forth and work at these places. And so I was meeting people, and people would always ask me while I was in the club, like, do you do stuff outside? Like, so I don't have to come here, to meet you,
Mhm,
because we had private rooms and all that. So they're getting a chance to get you naked, do all that kind of stuff, and whatever they're willing to
mhm,
spend the money. So it's like, okay, well, can I do this outside? Sure, as long as I know I'm in a safe environment, no one's recording anything, anything like that. And so my first experience was I was, a little iffy, doing it, but I had met the person enough times in the club that I felt comfortable with them. It was just getting into their
gotcha.
space now. And then once I did that, and the person was nice, we did it like I did an overnight. I made way more money that way because I spent the night. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna come hang out with you in the back room for 20 minutes, whatever, an hour,
Mm,
whatever. So I thought that was awesome. And then so from there, I started just putting out ads. And so I had this site that I use, which most people use RentMen, I guess. I use a site called Friendboy. It's also based out of the Netherlands, another one of those
mm,
Netherlands style sites. But the craziest part about this site, Friendboy, is you can promote anywhere in the world. So, like, if I go to Australia, I can say, hey, porn star from America coming to
mhm,
Australia would like to meet some people if you're willing. You want to meet with somebody, and I always get hit up. Um, Especially in places like European countries or Australia or anywhere where there's not a lot of black people, I guess, or
yeah,
American black, and so people want you around. And so, yeah, I mean, I found this site and it's very safe. It vets people, it vets me. So they know that I have like secret shopper reviews. I've had people meet up with me and write that they were a secret shopper. So it's like crazy how this site was. So it's really nice. It makes me feel really safe. And so every time I've met with people on there, I've made a lot of money and I've never had a problem. And they've flown me all over. I've met people all over the world now.
wow,
But going back to when I started with that, I also started working with a stripping company that did house calls. And I was meeting people that way too. For the
so, like,
most part, I was,
bachelorette parties?
yes. So for the most part, it was women, like bachelorette parties. But every once in a while, there'd be a gay party that wanted a male stripper.
Mhm,
And those ones is where I could totally meet people that are like, hey, how can I meet you outside of here? Like, you're so hot, whatever, da, da, da. And it just became more comfortable meeting with people and being vulnerable, around crowds of people, people you don't know. And I'm married as well. I have a wife. And so she, it was also like a sit down and talk with her about doing this, and her being comfortable with me having sex with men. um, and we came to a conclusion, in our relationship, like we use condoms so I can have unprotected sex because it makes more money, and obviously in studio work they expect that. So then we protect ourselves. But I mean, I also do every other safeguard. But after we sat down and talked about that, I was like, what's the next step? The next step is, can I do this commercially or can I do this publicly? And she was okay with it because she's like, it's not her image. She's like, she said she couldn't be out there with her, she's like,
yeah,
with my pussy all out on the internet for everyone to see. But she's like, if you want your dick out there for millions of people to see,
yeah,
do you, she's very supportive, in that way. And she now has evolved and grown to let me work with women. And, I work with trans too now, and just being more open and understanding that I'm working, and that's not like we have our relationship and love, and it's different than what I'm doing here, you know.
yeah,
And now she helps me film all my shoots and everything, and so the more comfortable having her around too made it so much more easier for me to do it all, and get
yeah.
into it.
Okay, how long are you guys married for?
Almost 3 years now.
Okay, alright. So, I'm curious though, does she handle you shooting with men different than women? Because I could see how a man would be much easier. Whereas when you shoot with a woman, what's gonna be going through her head is like, how big were her tits? How wet was her pussy? Do you see what I
Yeah,
mean? Whereas she
yeah.
wouldn't have those thoughts with the dude.
Right. I think that she gets into a mode, she says, that she's really focused on making sure that everything looks really well. Make sure the panning looks good, make sure the visuals will look good, make sure you're getting close-ups, you're getting far out, make sure you see the penetration. She's really focused when she's behind the camera. Now we can watch it later when I'm editing it, because I do all my editing for all my videos, scheduling, editing, shooting. And I just think that's easier for me because sometimes I've had people lose my content, and then I'm like, oh shit, well I should have just had it a copy of it at least, so then I wouldn't
Yeah.
make that wouldn't happen. So now I'm just like, hey, I have all these terabytes of data, I have all these folders, I put all my stuff and I edit it. I can send it to you, I can give it to you right now, and if you want to do your own editing, but I just make it easy. And I think that
Yeah.
her having an eye behind the camera and being professional, and like, she gets turned on by seeing man on man action. She likes the grunting of it, the penetration of it, the feel of it. It's these two men, like she
Yeah.
likes that as much as, to me, I'm really into the penetration too. Like it doesn't matter if it's pussy, butthole, the penetration is what really makes, like, I'm in that. I'm all the way in it. So yeah, I mean, I never had to coach her at all when it came to filming. She knew exactly what she needed to do. The funniest thing is when I'm not, and even with women, it's the same thing. It's like she does the same stuff. Like, um, and then we just catch different things. Like if the girl's a squirter, we're gonna catch that. If like this, or I'm gonna focus a lot more on the tits or whatever, and just different things. Or we might double vag her if I have another male friend that is cool with playing with me and her. So, and that's like the best selling stuff, buy stuff, which two guys are fucking with each other and the girls involved. People love that shit. And so yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like she's always been comfortable with me since day one, and I think it makes things so much easier when your partner is 100% in tune with you and what you're doing and supports it. And there's never a question. I didn't get to work with women at first because I think she did feel type of way about that. And
Mhm.
then as she started filming me with the guys and then trans, and then it moved into cisgender women, she learned. It was like, okay, he's not trying to leave me for this woman or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those feelings, it's like he's working, and I think that really helped.
So how'd you guys meet?
Tinder. We
Tinder.
met on Tinder in 2000.
Wow.
Yeah, so the funny part is I looked like the douchebag. I had like shirtless pics. I'm like, I write music for, I'm ghostwriting for these artists. I'm opening for these artists. I'm talking about how much of this music guy I am and shit. And so of course to her, she's like, oh, he's a fuck boy. And so at first when I reached out, I was like, hey, I can take you on this club hopping tour in Hollywood. Like my friends had this
Oh
business
God.
and they had these limos they rented and they'd bring all these Europeans from the hostels in Santa Monica and Venice, and they'd bring them to Hollywood and go to 3 hip hop clubs. And so I was like, you can come on this party bus with me. And so she's like, no. She's like, no, he's a douchebag. And so the next time I reached out, I asked to go on a proper date. I took her to a restaurant and then out for drinks after, and then she stayed the night. And we didn't fuck. So it was like, I don't know. I think that it wasn't just like, it was a nice dinner date and fucking, okay, that guy was cool from Tinder. It developed into hanging out every weekend after that. And then it became like every other day. And then we eventually, moved in together and started dating and whatever.
Okay. I like her. I like
She's
the
awesome.
fact that she
She's
like
here. She's
shot down your
working.
club idea. I like this. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a part of all my events. She was on the red carpet with me at the Gay VNs. She's gonna be on the red carpet here at the Grabbies with me. She's sitting at the table. She's very supportive. She's been a part of it the last couple of years a lot more than she wanted to be originally. She didn't even want to be
Oh,
like out there at all. Like, you don't need to let nobody know you have a partner. Don't worry about that. This is your image to
yeah.
make genius. You might lose fans because you have a woman and you're doing gay porn. I was like, I don't think so. I'm like, I think people really like me, and all of this like sexuality is supposed to be fluid. People shouldn't really have a problem with that. But I
Yeah.
get it. There are people that do feel some type of way, and I had people say, whatever, like, oh God, he fucks pussy, he's a fake gay, whatever,
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
shit. But there's only so much of that. Most of it is praise. So I'm like, it's okay.
I'm guessing she's either older or from a small town.
She's from Houston, Texas, so definitely not a small town.
Okay.
um, and she's my age. She's 33. She turns 34 after
Okay.
me.
Well, Texas explains a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we met.
Would you
He
say
transferred to
that she
USC, and I tried to transfer to USC. I was going to Columbia College downtown Chicago for musical theater and acting and music theory. So I was first trying to do acting, and then it turned into music because I had studied music as my minor,
Mhm.
and I moved to California, and then that's how we lined up.
Okay. Would you say that she maybe isn't 100% responsible, but is mostly responsible for keeping you focused and on the straight and narrow and
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think that the freedoms that I have outweigh anything else. Like, there's never any temptations for me to do anything wrong or to. I mean, I all I got to do is ask. I can do anything, and and just being open and honest, makes everything so easy. So I do credit, you know, her being so chill and understanding of everything I'm doing and all the hard work and all this too, and and never being like demanding of anything. It's never like, oh, he just collabed 2 times today. Now I need to get fucked today. You know what I mean? Like, and just other things where it's like, we know when we're both working and, you know, when our needs and wants are matched, or when they need to be matched, and we're reasonable,
yeah,
And so,
good for you. That's awesome. So, what was your first studio experience like? Like,
okay.
I guess what asking is,
Can I put, I mean, my first studio, okay, so I was signed with Fab Scout, right? So I was supposed to be getting booked through Fab Scout. But because of the whole
Mhm.
blonde hair issue, I wasn't getting booked. So I reached out on my own. I reached out to Austin Wild, guys in sweatpants. And I was like, hey, I'm in LA, you're in San Diego. I would love to, I've never worked before. This would be my very first shoot. I'd love for you to introduce me to the industry. I've been working really hard to try to like keep this, my image and whatever. And so he agreed, and they wanted to do a Christmas special. It was like the first week of December. He's like, I'm going to turn this around in 2 weeks and release it for Christmas. And so my first scene partner was Ty Santana. I mean, and he's just amazing. And we've been friends ever since. And my experience was fine. Like, I was nervous getting there, of course. And when I got there, it was just Austin Wild and me for a little while. So we were talking, chatting, whatever. And so it was chill. And then Ty came, I met him, and then we started getting to all the actions and stuff. And I never told anybody this, and I don't know if it's good to say out loud, but I'm not planning to ever work with Austin Wild or anything ever. But in that scenario, while I was fucking, I guess he was getting excited and decided that he should be a part of the scene somehow, but not seen. And so while like doing the POV over my body of, Thai bottoming for me, he puts his dick in my mouth. And yeah, and so as that's happening, I'm just like, okay, is this normal? Is I'm just supposed to be doing this? I mean, you can't see my head; it's all penetration shot. And so I'm like, okay. And yeah, he proceeded to finish in my mouth during the middle of that. So that was a very interesting situation because he wasn't part of the scene at all. So I wasn't expecting him to be a part of it at all like that. And yeah, so that gave me an interesting idea of what was to come. And so the next scenes that I had did were with complete professional studios with a whole cast, like a whole crew. So it was very different. It was, and so I was with Ricky Greenwood, and he works on both sides, and so he has this huge fucking cast of people, sound and assistants and whatever. So I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? This is way different. So I was like way more nervous because there's so many freaking people in the room. And I didn't even know I didn't use Trimex or anything yet. I didn't even know what it was. So I would try to use Viagra, and I had never used that really before. So I was still too nervous to make it work. So I was supposed to do a topping scene, and then I had to end up bottoming. But they made it easy for me. The other guy was like, no, it's fine. I'll just go clean out, and or you just go clean out, and we can just have you bottom, and it'll make it easy. And then we did, and we finished the whole scene. Everybody was so nice. It was so different. It was like, wow, this is how it's supposed to be. And then after that, I kept working with Ricky. And I've been working with him to this day. And now I've worked with every different studio, Falcon and Kinkman. And I've done all these different ones with all different types of directors and scenarios. Never once have I ever had an experience like that.
That's, I mean, that's basically like some Harvey Weinstein shit.
And the funniest part is after that shoot, he acted like he didn't want to move in the direction of working with guys my size anymore. He wanted to shoot himself like fucking twinks. Like that was going to be his new push. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's kind of like, well, I'm done with you kind of thing. And I was like, oh,
Um,
all right. But luckily, at that point, I cut the blonde off, and then Howard started really, getting me pushed and booked and booked and booked. And then it was no, I had no issue again. But it was just like, yeah, I just never wanted to necessarily work with him again after that. I felt like he was taking advantage of the situation and was like, well, I need to bust a nut because I'm horny. And it's like, well, no, you're supposed to be filming this. This is, this is supposed to be a professional setting here. You didn't show me your test.
yeah. No, I mean, is it, do you think it's even realistic to expect 100% of people to be totally professional? Because I mean, like ideally, yeah, that would be the case, but it's like looking for, like let's say you're shooting your own content. Let's say you're looking for a cameraman. 50% of the people who are interested in it aren't doing it for the money. They're doing it because they hope they can jump in, or they're
Right.
mentally masturbating, or you know what I mean? Like I feel
Yeah.
like, oh, what do you think?
No, yeah. I mean, it's for the most part for me. I mean, that was the only situation I'd ever had that was like that. So I have no other basis to go off of besides of like the women that I work with mostly that I hear that situation way more often than not. Um, and so yeah, when it comes to like my OnlyFans stuff, I do expect that for sure because I do be finding guys on Grinder that are literally just on Grinder like I really want to film you. Well, so I know what their intent is, but I'm like, okay, you're using my phone to film it. So it's going, I have the data and the footage, so it's not like you're going to go run around and do some weird. But
Yeah,
I had one guy who I was filming, and I was tied up doing a kink scene, and you could tell that the camera went down like this. You could tell he was looking through his actual eyes at us, not the camera. So like he was so into it that he started like, obviously being mesmerized
yeah,
instead of paying attention to the filming part. And I'm like, oh shit, this part of it's not going to look good at all. And so like
yeah,
that guy ended up working with me a lot more, but I had to coach him. Like, don't do these quick clips. Don't do like 12-second clips, 30-second clips. Don't do that because then I have 60 things to try to edit instead of just like one or two or three long continuous clips. So I did that, and then make sure you're looking through the camera, not through your eyes. And so,
yeah,
yeah, so like because when I'm not using her, I usually just find fans that are like, I just want to be around.
yeah,
Like, do you know how to use a camera? Are you gonna be paying attention to what you're filming? Not like us. Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, I do expect it. I just don't usually expect it on set, and I think that maybe because
yeah.
Austin was by himself, it's different. He doesn't have a whole crew of people that he has to worry about HR or anything like that. He's not having a bunch of employees where every other person I pretty much worked with has employees.
Yeah. I mean, I've been like, there have been plenty of times where I've been on set for like Kink or other studios where the director will call cat or cut, and the cast will walk off, and then my co-star will start like grabbing and fondling my dick, even, and I'm like, the fuck, dude, no. Like, that's happened quite a few times where people just, they don't respect boundaries,
Mm,
you
yeah,
know.
I do feel like there are a lot of people that they need you to keep them up kind of thing. And so it's like when anytime there's a break, if they're not interacting or doing something,
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna
like,
lose it.
ask,
They
you
should
know what I
ask.
mean?
Right. Yeah. You should always ask first. Or there's a type of look or feel that someone's giving you that they're like, that's what I want. It's pretty clear if somebody wants it or not. And if you just come up to someone and start doing that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it does happen for sure for me more so. Like I could see it, way more on the gay side than on the straight side. I hope that's not happening because those women,
Yeah.
there's no way they're gonna be like, excuse me.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, and I want to ask you because it seems like such a polarizing issue, and I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to it. But like, what are your thoughts on the whole BBC thing? Because half the black performers I interview will be like, "I love it. It's a great marketing tool. This and this and this," but then the other half are like, that's fetishizing. It's demeaning. Where do you stand? Because I've heard arguments to both ways.
I feel like I use it to my advantage at times. I'm not the type that gets offended by anything like that. It doesn't bother me just because I understand it's just specific race, but there's a whole niche for it. And
Yeah.
it's not only used, by people that are, of non people of color. There's people of color who use it too, I feel like, to describe it or use it even when they're talking to other black guys. And so that's why I'm like, I don't really see it as a problem as some other people do. But I think,
Yeah.
again, everybody has preferences. So someone could
Right.
come at you and not know your preferences. And then they say that. And, there's no reason to get mad. It's just more like, oh, that's not, I don't like that, or I'm not into that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure from then on, they're not going to just keep pressing you like that with that. They're
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, okay, I understand. And so I think it's something that because of the work we're in and things that we're doing, we have to understand that people think we might be into that, or they feel
Mhm.
like, oh, is he,
Yeah.
he's a part of all this. So they assume. And it's better just to try to brush it off than to get mad, you know?
Yeah.
Well, there's no way we're going to cancel it completely. It's not like people are going to stop using it. It's going to always be used because there are people that like being referred to that way.
Yeah.
It makes
Well,
them feel empowered. It
it
makes them feel good.
and it maximizes your search engine SEO.
Yeah,
Because so
exactly.
many people are searching for that on the tube sites and whatever else. So,
Yep.
wouldn't you want to maximize your exposure?
Yeah. So like, yeah, if I'm putting categories on videos, I use it. If that's a category, I'm putting it because I know people will, yeah, they will search that. And so it's important for me to why not use it to my advantage?
Exactly.
Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily be always titling my videos that way, but I might do it every once in a while because it might
Hmm.
generate the traffic that I need.
Yeah. So, how has porn affected your life since you've decided to go all the way and jump in the deep end of the pool and show face and do everything that you've done? Like, how would you
Mm.
say it's affected your life both positively and negatively?
Hmm. Well, definitely positively as far as, I don't know, just learning so much, being more open and um, vulnerable to our feelings and emotions, um, and feeling like you're accomplishing something that you work really hard for, and being an example for others to show that they could be here. There's a lot of positives as far as doing this, and just I have less of a worry of what people think of me, no matter what the situation is, because I know
Yeah.
I'm completely exposed out there. Um, I would say some of, the cons would be I'm busy all the time. So sometimes it's not as easy for me to have time with my partner, or my friends, like outside of this. Although they know what I do, it's just I don't. I work so hard and work a lot, and I travel so much. That I'm not really at home that much anymore, and I'm always chasing something. You're always chasing something. Is how it feels, you know. And so there's always that. The negative to that is like there's always something I have to chase for. There's always something that I have to get to or goal to reach. It's not going to ever end.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, really, just I don't. There's not too many cons to it, honestly. Like it's really helped me grow as a person, and I think that deciding to do it when I was older and more mature definitely helped my foundation. Because if I would have done this when I was 20 or 21, I would have probably been a lost drug soul out there trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
and doing everything under the sun and just being crazy and wild, and now it's like I understand how to do this and how to market it as a business so that I'm maximizing my revenue. I'm able to, I'm looking to buy a house this year in LA, which, it's like people think like that's impossible or crazy. It's like, no, it's doable. It's just, you got to work really fucking hard to make that money, and so I'm just
Yeah.
happy to be able to build these foundations, with my family that I'm building, and it's all in a positive way. I don't get much negative press, which is really nice. It's just the random stuff that's easy now to just brush off.
Mhm. I'm surprised. Like, how often would you say you travel? Because you live in LA and there's a ton of people there.
Yeah. Shit. I travel probably twice a month at least. So last month I was
Jesus.
at a content house in Vegas, and then um, where else did I go? Then I went to Saint Martin for a week. Then I came back to LA, and then I came here for 2 weeks to Chicago. I was been here since last the Friday. And then I go back to LA for 2 days, and then I go off to Disney for gay days. After that, for 6 days, and then I'll be back again, and then I leave for the UK after that. So I'll be back in LA for my birthday for 1 week, June 7th. That weekend, June 7th, 8th, 9th, and then I'm gone again, and then gone again. But it's all money moves, which is great. It's all making money and doing things and expanding my business. So it's all good things. And at least with some of these things, my wife travels with me, so she's here for this event. She'll be with me at Disney. We're going to take 2 days to go like explore Disney on our own, outside of the convention stuff and the gay days events. Um, and yeah, so like we try to figure out ways to make them into little mini vacations when we can travel together. But um,
So,
it is a lot.
so what does your wife just? What does she do for work?
So her job is very different. So she is a project manager. She oversees a liquefied natural gas plant. It's a company called LNG Canada, and they are a subsidy of Shell. And so she oversees the liquefied natural gas plant that ships the liquefied natural gas and sells it to China, from Canada.
Oh,
So she's working on a project there in a small town called Kitimat. It's in the British Columbia, I guess, like their quadrant or whatever the hell it is,
oh.
along the
So I'm
water.
guessing she works remotely then.
Yes, she's working right now. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why it works really well. So like we travel anywhere she can work. She just has to be able to
Oh,
log
okay.
on to
All
the
right.
internet.
That's what I was getting
You
at.
know, yeah. So she can still do all of her virtual meetings. She can still do all of the stuff. Like she, does everything.
Okay.
She's the whole project. Make sure everyone's hired. Make sure all the telecom stuff is done. All the security stuff. All everyone's time cards for the week. All that kind of thing. She has to do all that. So you don't have to be there
So,
to do any of that stuff. She can
so
be
you're
away.
with your best friend all the time.
Yeah. As much as I can be,
Oh,
yes.
all right. Good. So, what are you like super passionate about? Like, what really like gets you out of bed in the morning? What drives you in life? Like outside of work.
Yeah. I just think it's the will and determination to, I don't know, succeed and be seen. Like I get up, I'm just motivated to take on the day. Like I get up pretty early and I start, I don't know, mapping out the things that I want to do, for the day. If I want to make videos and be creative, if I want to have fun, or, I don't know, I'm just very happy. Like I'm living, my best life. I have, a really great relationship, and I have a really great routine. And so, yeah, I get up every day ready with so much energy, ready to take on the day. And so first thing I do immediately every day is go to the gym because I got to get rid of some of the energy that I have. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just a very excited, hype, happy, expressive person. And so it just lives through me. I don't even
Oh,
really, it's like I don't need, there's not a motivation necessarily more so than my happiness.
all right. What about like are you still into music?
Yeah. Yes, I have a whole catalog of written music that I just need to record and put together and start focusing on again. And at this point, for me, it's just I've already found the guy that I want to work with who helps me compose the music and also the music video. So I've got that picked out, and now it's just about putting the budget together, sitting with him, and going over my idea of what I want to do, and getting right back into it. And I mean, I don't feel like I've lost a step as far as that goes. It's like riding a bike when it comes to writing music. There's the creativity is always there, no matter what. Even when I'm not thinking about writing, I'm still rhyming and thinking about all those stuff, and
Yeah.
it's always there. And so I'm excited to get back into it.
Sweet. So, is there anything else that you would like to accomplish or goals, if you will?
Yeah, I just want my goal is to help there be more of a normalization when it comes to sex work, in the sense of in the safer workspace. I feel like we should be able to have mediums where the not safe for work and the safe for work can exist. And there's a couple companies that are working to try to do that more and are pushing more for that. And again, like television shows and reality TV and stuff like that, there are our best market to get the not safe into the safe workspace, because there's such a blurred line in it that they allow so much more than normal networks. And so, like for me, the more I can do that, the more I can show people that this is a real business that people can do. We're really blue collar Americans doing this work. We're contributing to society. We're a voting bloc. We help the economy, and we also help a lot of these people that need us to feel good about themselves or to get their sexual releases. And so
Hmm.
the more that we can normalize this and it's less stigmatized, the happier I am that I can be a part of that movement.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is because, well, part of the reason why I started this series was because if you tell your average person porn star, the first thing they're going to think is like drug addict, alcoholic, like total dumpster fire human being, major, trauma, daddy issues, et cetera, et cetera. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And on the other hand, people want to get in. I'm sure you get DMs, oh, Tony, help me get into porn or this and that. And whenever someone says, I'm like, take how much work you think it is and then multiply it by 100.
Exactly. I
Okay.
get that a lot, actually. I mean, I think just today, this morning, I had somebody. I'm a huge fan. I've really been wanting to get into it, and I don't know. And someone's like, "Can you help me and coach me?" And it's like, I don't know if I can do that. It's like it's something that you really have to be ready to do full time. It's not a part time gig unless that's what you want. If you want to be a hobby, it can be a hobby. But if you want to be a full time job, it's really like you have to be able to drop everything else and take it seriously and be able to build that brand. And I think that a lot of people are just not in that position to do that. Or they're super young. They're like 20, 21, or even younger than that, maybe 18, impressionable. Studios are like,
Right.
that's the twink I need. But are they really ready? No.
No.
Are they forced into it because the money seems nice? Everything else? Sure. And then now they're pressured into doing all the other stuff that comes along with it, drugs, partying,
Yeah.
whatever. And now they're not saving, they're not thinking of these all these things. They're not racking up and scheduling collabs. They're not building their OnlyFans the way they're just like randomly like, oh, today I forgot I should probably post something on there. And it's like, well, yeah, then it's never gonna be where you want it to be, where you think you could have it. And it just, some people think it's just easy, and that's the saddest part about it. Is like people see people posting on the internet, like, well, he just posted his dick on the internet and he got thousands of hits. I could do that. I have a big dick, or I have a nice ass, or whatever. It's like that's not all it takes. It's
Yeah.
not just like that easy. There's a whole marketing and building and reposting and all this stuff. And then not only that, the Twitter's free. You're not making any money from that. You got to still make people come to you in a subscription site and pay you some way somehow. And
Yeah.
so it's a never ending game, but it really is a full time job, and I do it every day. And you have to be willing to do it every day. And I don't, and a
Mhm.
lot of people just don't have that time. They're like, oh shit, I worked all day today. Do I really want to do OnlyFans now? You know?
Mhm. What percentage, like, if you took everything that you consider work, what percentage of that do you think is actually having sex?
5%? It's like five, maybe. I know it's less than 10%
Yeah.
because the amount of, I mean, for me, I have to upload, like, I mean, like, I have so many
Mhm.
subscription sites. So when I'm uploading stuff, I have to upload, I have like 4 computers and tablets and phones all uploading on different sites with the same video, so I can like easily streamline them all, as I'm scheduling them. And I'll sit down for 2 to 3 days. I'll take 2 or 3 days out or a whole week and I'll be like, I need to schedule for the next 3 months. And just all these videos that I already did, I need to edit, schedule, and my releases and have it all done and not collab. And this
Mhm.
turned, and I'm sorry guys, right now I am packed with shit I need to do. And if I just keep collabing, I'm only gonna keep, piling my shit up. And you guys, and then also too, then people want to release their stuff. And then I'm like, oh shit, I can't release it for 4 or 5 months. And they're like, oh shit, I was hoping to release this next week. And I'm like, oh, well, you can release it if you want. We'll just have to do double promotions. And that's fine.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I always try to take time and stop and schedule because then I can let people know, hey, you're going to collab with me, but I don't have scheduling until September or I don't have scheduling until October.
Mhm.
So then they know, like, are they cool with waiting or they're like, oh, it's fine. I'll collab and you can release it when you do and I'll release it when I do. And I'm fine with that too, as long as we're promoting each other.
I'm curious, do you ever get the creators who will fly to LA and then they'll text you, "Hey Tony, I'm in town. Let's shoot together. This is my last day." I'm like, "Seriously? Fuck you, dude. No,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not available."
Right. So how many guys did you already have before you decided it was my turn?
Yeah, and you want to schedule your collabs before you book the trip. I
You
would
should have, yeah.
never book a trip without having everything scheduled prior.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
no.
like I'm not
No,
available
definitely
last
not.
minute. Fuck that.
No, right. Yeah, the day of, like, probably not. Probably not going to see me. But yeah, I do get that
Okay.
sometimes. And I usually try to ask people when they're traveling if they hit me up and there's planning to travel to LA. I'm like, can I be the first? Can I just be the first? Because, you know, I take Doxy and all that, and it's worked really well. Like, I haven't had any problems. I've been able to do content houses now, which is something I wasn't doing before because I was worried. And I went to a content house. There was 22 of us. I probably had sex with maybe 8 or 10 people total, and no problem. So as long as people and everyone had to be tested within the 2 weeks, and everybody had to have Doxy, and everyone had, so it was a lot of things in place for me to feel really secure about doing that. Otherwise, I usually don't like to do giant group stuff because I just don't trust
Yeah.
everybody. And it's nothing against them. It's just statistically speaking, when
Yeah,
there's a certain amount of people
probabilities.
in the room, there's going to have that danger. It's there. You have to think that
Mhm.
it's there. And so I always have to think, okay, am I going into this as condoms only or am I going to go in like literally physically looking at people's tests? Like, let me see that test. Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you gotta take the risk of just standard one person and then multiply by 22.
Yeah.
No matter how small that risk is, one person, you multiply it 22 times, you're pretty fucking substantial,
Exactly. And yeah.
so
And so I'm like, as long as everyone's doing this medicine and everyone was just tested and no one was collabing before, we shouldn't have any problem here, right? And we didn't. And that's
mm,
good. And nobody was hitting anybody up saying, hey, I tested positive or hey, none of that. So afterwards, so everybody was good. I was like, yes, finally, I can feel good about doing this.
so what hobbies do you have outside of work and music and all that stuff? Like, let's say
um,
that you've got 2 days off and you don't have to edit, you don't have to work at all, you can't work.
yeah.
What would you do with your free time?
I like to hike. Especially in California. There's a lot of different places I can go hike. I like to, be on the beach. I like to rollerblade and bike ride along the beach. I live by Venice Beach in California, so I have like my scooter. I have rollerblades. I have the bike, and they have, they have a trail, a bike trail that goes pretty far. It goes all the way down like Hermosa Beach, like way down the beach line. You go through all these beach cities. So I like to do that, on my free time, just like kind of get my own time and air and and just refresh, and not focus on any of that work stuff, and just kind of give my mind that refresh. So I try to hang out with my friends, go to museums, go out to eat, to new restaurants, go out to new bars. Last week before I came to Chicago, we went to this new bar called, it was a kava bar, and kava is this plant or whatever that causes this, like, it almost gets you buzzed, but there's no liquor in it, and it's this new plant based out of Hawaii or something that they get it from, and you just put a little bit in your drink. You put either 1 scoop, 2 scoop, or 3 scoop. And 3 scoop gets your like tongue numb and tingly. You start to feel like aloof and like weird. Like you're like, oh wow, I feel kind of uppity. Like, but you don't feel high or something. You just feel uppity. Like, you know, your body feels good and inspirited. And we're laughing after we were drinking it for a while. I'm like, wow, this is different. And so just like I really like exploring new things, and just because like in LA always has new pop-ups, always has things to offer, always has so much things going on that it's like there's never really a dull moment. Like in the wintertime, I can go skiing in multiple different places. In the summer, you have all the different beaches and events on the water and on the beach to do. And then, of course, you have all the summer events and tourism and all that. So there's always so much going on that it's like there's a different area that you just like be like, I've never seen this part of the city, or I've never seen, this museum, or I haven't seen this pop up or been to this event. And there's always something new and exciting.
So overall, you would say you live a pretty quiet life.
Yeah. Outside of this, yeah. Yeah, I
So
don't
like
party
chill
or
and
do
just
any like,
easy.
yes, like, yeah, having I think also too, like, it's nice because when I'm not working, then I want to be with my partner because, then
Yeah.
we have that time together too. And so, um, yeah, I do believe that I'm much more chill than I used to be. A much more like family man chill. I'll be at home if I'm not working or traveling.
Any desire to have kids? I'm assuming you don't.
No,
Or
I
do
do.
you?
Yes.
Oh,
So that's in the cards in the next year or so. Yeah, we would like that to happen by 35. So we're going on 34 this year. So
okay.
it's close. But we've been
So
talking
you're
about it for
trying
a
for
few
that
months
now.
now. We haven't started trying yet.
Okay.
No, she's has an IUD, so we don't have any
Yeah.
worry right now. Any accidents aren't going to happen. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, when we at some point when she's ready to like start exploring that, I'm down.
Okay. Have you always wanted kids, or is this pretty recent?
I've always wanted kids. My whole life, I've always seen myself married with kids.
Really?
Hmm.
Okay. So if you weren't doing porn right now, what do you think you'd be doing for work?
I'd probably still be. I mean, I'd be full time music. I'm sure I would. I would be in a different accolade level. I would feel like at
Yeah.
this point because it would be a lot more. It would be 2 or 3, or at least 3 more years of working in the business after the pandemic, and that would be. I'm sure I would have been able to reclaim a lot of the work that I was doing, the teams that I was working with and stuff, which I'm sure I still can do today. It's just now I'd really like to do it as me as the artist rather than me writing and working for other people.
Gotcha. Is there anything professionally you've wanted to do but haven't done yet?
Hmm. As in like adult work or just in general professionally?
Both.
Hmm. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's not really anything I can think of outside of the porn stuff business and the music business that I really was passionate about, or really besides activism. I mean, activism is something that like I recently started working with the Free Speech Coalition, and I want to start being more of an advocate, an actual voice for reason and voice for change and voice for protection and things like that, and being able to be more in the space to do that. And I think, with my adult work, I do have the opportunity to do that in certain spaces. And I just want to be able to expand on that. So I do really feel like that's something that I'm really hoping and going to get to. Um, and I think that in the next year or so, I'll be in a position enough where I have the voice to feel like and the confidence and to build around it to be more of that advocate, and work with a lot more people to push for legislation for everyone and lobby
So,
for different things.
what are you the most passionate about when it comes to activism?
I'm mostly people's rights. I feel like right now we have a pretty significant movement in states where people's personal rights and freedoms are being taken away from them under the blanket or under the guise of, I don't know, the moral majority or some shit, or this Christian idea of the world. And I just feel like the forcing of these things on people is not positive, and we need more people to fight back and show that you know we we need to be able to define ourselves for who we are and what we want and how we want to get it, and we don't need government and people like that telling us how to do it and what we can do with our bodies and and who we can be, like when it comes to gender, when it comes to orientation, when it comes to physical appearance, any of this stuff, like when it comes to people's rights. Those are big things for me, and I'm really big in politics. I watch it, and I'm really deep in it. And I pay attention to a lot of stuff. Do I want to be a politician? Not necessarily. Do I think it's possible for a sex worker at this point in history to be a politician? Absolutely, because people are they're less sensitized to things. So someone like
Oh,
in the adult space could do this and say, I'm a blue collar worker. I represent these type of people and this base of voters, and we have demands and we have money and we can lobby to get these things done. Um, and I think more so than ever, people are more accepting of other types of people. I mean, we're seeing it from what they consider the far right, where these people have come in and hijacked Christianity and turned it into this weapon to use against people. And it's made vulnerable people that are, just vulnerable Christians that don't know better follow suit into the movement thinking this is what God wants. And that's completely wrong. And so I feel like I have to fight harder on the other side, and people have to be more of a voice. And so that's something for me that really touching for me, and that I fight for and I post. I have like a secret account on Twitter I post with. And it's, to go against a lot of, right wing legislation and a lot of this Christian nationalism movement that we have in the country. Um, and so I want to be able to do more. I want to be at events. I want to be at rallies. I want to be able to, feel like my voice is being heard and that it's impacting people to want change.
no. I mean, I think anything can be hijacked. Anything. I mean, even look at Islam. You
Yeah.
got the extremists over there that are hijacking that. I mean, jeez, everything can be hijacked and demonized. Because me personally, like I'm Christian, but like I, I don't know. I just for me, like do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
Right. Yeah. My
So
family and is 7 Day Adventists, and I mean, I'm a part of the Christian movement. I've studied the Bible quite a bit. I've done sermons even more so in my youth. And so like I have a tie to it, as the same. And it's not fair when these other people come in and think their judgment outweighs the faith, because never did God tell people that you had the right to judge the other people. And the whole new
mhm,
commandment that was brought when Jesus came was love thy neighbor as thyself. And we have the hardest time doing that in today's society. It doesn't mean your physical neighbor. It just means the people that are not like you. And
yeah,
I think a lot of people have a hard time loving people that are not like them. And that's like some of the hardest things. And it's one of the biggest teachings of God is to have that open heart. And these people don't. Their hearts have become hardened and they're angry and upset about things that don't matter for the most part.
yeah. No, I hate anything where you've got good people within a group who are made to look bad by the fuck ups.
Yeah.
Because even within like the LGBT, right? You've got like you were talking about earlier, you've got those gays who like I had one dude comment on one of my Instagram posts. He's like, I absolutely hate the fact that you've shot with women. Like you're I've got a real problem with that. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Who
Just
are
don't
you?
watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like there's a lot of like anti-trans shit within the gay community. I mean, it infects everything. It's just like, bro, like just fucking let people be,
Yep.
you
No,
know?
yeah, I
But yeah.
experienced the anti-trans. I mean, at first, because I started with trans first, that was the first thing. For the most part, people were really like, "Wow!" Even when I was working like female to male trans, like, "Wow!" Like seeing you fuck pussy, it's so hot, like da 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 da. And
Yeah.
that's great. But then I'd have the other side, like, "I can't believe you're doing this. You're not even really gay." Da, 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 da. And it's like, what? That's not really a boy. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's your opinion, and you could take it
Yeah,
somewhere else.
well, it's like the whole, are you familiar with the parasocial relationship?
Mm, mm-mm.
So a parasocial relationship is it would be like a fan who consumes all your content. So, in their mind, they know exactly who Tony is. Like, let's say I'm the fan, right? Like, we could be best friends. They create like this imaginary relationship in their head and this idea of exactly what Tony needs to be. And if Tony sways either direction outside of this, like, predetermined narrative that I have, then I get angry and like Google it, dude. It's some fascinating shit.
Okay. No, yeah, I mean, I think I have fans like that for sure that fit that description. Where they are, it's like they thought they knew me, or or I'm somehow ruining their life by making a different decision that they didn't like or didn't expect, or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. And it's like my sexual endeavors should not be tied to your emotions.
Yeah,
That's borderline insane. Like you might want to start talking to somebody if that is where you're at with me.
yeah,
uh, and yeah, so like I mean, I definitely deal with that, and I think it's wild. It's definitely a wild situation to be in, and sometimes I block those people, because like your subscription isn't enough for me to deal with that, and I don't want to be tied to any type of crazy thing you might decide to do, and say Tony Genius, I can't live anymore because you won't talk to me or some crazy shit. It's like no, 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 no,
yeah,
no. Let me just get rid of you in my space. That $10 isn't worth it.
yeah. So somebody submitted the question: if a director wanted you to do a group scene, what performers would you involve?
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna do a mix of guys and girls.
Okay.
I'm really good friends with one of my by performers, Steve Ricks, and so I really like working with him. He's really easy to work with, and so he'd be a great person to be in a group with. And I'd have two women that I really like working with. Stephanie Love, and she used to be called Stephanie the Stripper. Um, and then also it's called You Love Mads, or her name's Madison. Um, those would be the two women I would have in the group. But as far as other guys besides Steve that would, help work with the women, there'll be a few of the gay guys that I'd want in it. I really like Cole Connor. Me and him, have a really good relationship. We hang out outside of the bedroom all the time, outside of scenes. We have a really hot scene coming out from Disruptive at the end of this week. And so he's another one. He's pretty exploratory too. Like, so he'll do stuff with the girls too, which is interesting, even though he's not into it at all. Just because it's a group, he's the type that's like, he's all in. And then another one that I met most recently was Cade Maddox. And I learned, like, I had a pre-existing idea of who I thought he was. And we hung out for a week. And we're going to be on this television show together. And we hung out for a week. And it was, I mean, I had the most fun ever with this guy. Like, I did not know he was going to be this much fun and this open. Just because, like, I've been to events and other stuff where we've both been featured, like earlier in my career when I was doing the AVN picture days and stuff like that, he would show up and they'd drop everything for him and be like, Cade's here. We have to do all Cade stuff and then he can go home. Well, we've been here for fucking 5 hours already. Like, why does he get treated to this like lap of
Yeah.
luxury, shit. And so like I had this whole idea, like, and we had never worked together. We had been in a few movies around each other, but never worked. So I was kind of like, ugh, I don't know if I like this guy. But then hanging out with him was just so different. And I even told him, like, during that trip, I was like, I had such a different idea of who I thought you were. And like, I didn't think I would like you. And I really do like you. And it's like, I would actually like to start hanging out with you in LA and da da da. So, these are the kind of people. It's just like, it's crazy how, you have an idea or you see people and then it's like you meet them and it's so different. And then you find out there's chemistry and this person's actually a likable person and it's real. So
Yeah.
those are some of the people I would probably have in it. One other one that I really like, I would say in a group is Ty Santana. Me and Ty have a really good relationship. And again, he's another person that works with everybody. He's pretty, gender fluid, open to all. And he's just, again, just a really easy and fun person to work with.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like when it's easy, fun, and there's chemistry. If we have
Mhm.
that, we're going to have a great shoot. We're not going to have any issues there. And so I like to surround myself with people that have that good energy, that emulate good energy and positivity all the time, that are not always posting on their Twitter and it's some kind of deep, dark, and upset and in a mood, because those people are bringing that energy with them. And I don't want that energy around me. I'm like, if you're posting all the time, it's always negative. No, I don't think our energies are going to work well together.
Mhm.
But if you're very positive, you're happy, and I can see that, I feel that, and I want that type of energy around me.
That I'm glad you mentioned that because that's
It's a lot.
it.
Some
Well, no,
people,
I
it's
mean,
a lot.
no, it breaks my heart though because I see these people. I mean, I'm sure you see a lot of the same ones on Twitter where it's just constantly poor me, Debbie Downer, victim shit. This happened, fuck my life, all this stuff, and it's like, okay, on a human level, I feel bad for you, but at the same time, like, bro, look in the mirror. Would you want to be around you? Like, no fucking shit, you don't
Right.
have friends. I don't personally know a single person who would look at that and be like, oh my God, I want to be around you so you can just shit all over my day.
Right, yeah. So I can just have you complaining. Like, nah, I'm good. But no, I bet we're seeing some of the same people, because I don't want to not follow them, because I do feel like at the same time they are the type of
Yeah,
person that will notice that. And then they're in my
yeah,
DMs going, why'd you stop following me? And I don't want to add to their, you know, I guess, mental instability at the moment. And so
yeah.
I'm not going to comment. What I'll do is maybe in support, if enough people are in support, or if it's bad enough or something that I'm like, okay, they need support, then yes, I'll make sure I support. But if it's just woe is me, then no.
Yeah. What do you attribute your optimism and positive outlook to? Have you always been like that?
Yes. Yeah. For years and years, I've lived by this understanding of the laws of attraction. And I believe that the things that you put into the universe, you get back. And so the more positive and happy and energetic and excitable I am, the more is coming to me. And I see it. I
Hmm.
physically can see it, where people say, I found you online and I want you for this project because this attitude, and I saw you so bubbly and this and that, and you're creative. And that stuff to me is like, only reinforces that I need to continue to do this, because it's working. My presence in the world is positive enough where it's causing people to want to latch to that. And so it's better for me to do that, which there's people that latch to negativity too. Like if there was enough negativity I put out, there probably would be people that will latch to that.
Hmm.
But I don't want to put that out. That's not me. That
Yeah.
brings me down. And so I think, yeah, I've always been that way. I've always been up and bubbly and goofy and class clown, all that kind of stuff. Like I've always just been that guy.
Uh-huh. So I'm guessing then you've read The Secret.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. I base a lot of my life on that book.
Yeah, I had a dream board before I moved to California. I had a dream board. I would have a Mitsubishi Eclipse is what I wanted. I wanted a specific version of the Mitsubishi Eclipse, and I found it at a Ford dealer. It was so random. A
What,
Mitsubishi car.
GSX?
Huh?
The GSX?
Mm-hmm. And it was just random. It was like it was sold. It was barely used and sold to that Ford company. And it was like just random. Like we just randomly have this one. It's like this was on my board.
Wow.
And then also California. I got an offer and I moved to California. It was like I had that on my board while I was still living in Illinois. I'm gonna live in California. I'm gonna have this car. I'm gonna be this lifestyle, an entertainer. And I did all that stuff. I moved there and I still got into entertainment. And even to this day I still do it. And so I still manifest things. I have goals and stuff like that, that aspirations that are easy to like, take less time to obtain and something that are going to take
Mm-hmm.
time to obtain. And I focus on the steps as as they go. So I'm keeping the attraction on the things that are more possible before trying to think about the things that I need the steps to get to.
So, what would be some of the long term things?
Um, I think probably having my own enterprise is one of my things I have on my board. I already have my own business. It's collaborating and building more business, and then eventually overseeing said business. And so I have my music business, I have my porn business, and I also have my modeling business. So it's juggling that, and then figuring out a way to make a capital business out of that from there, and then also building and growing employees and all that kind of stuff. So I do have that in mind, and also being a type of investor. Like I could be a startup investor, so then I can start helping fund things that I feel like deserve funding and deserve the chance to succeed. And it could be other like where
Nice.
I'm doing it for a lot of Black owned businesses, or I'm doing it in impoverished communities where we team with other people, team with either banks or investors that want to bring something to this community as an outreach and reach out to those kids maybe that are 16, 17, 18, whatever in development, and help them get ready for college in communities and other places where they have less opportunity to make it there without a scholarship. And so I would really like to help more people of color have more opportunities within their communities. I lived in Bankhead in Atlanta. It was Zone 1. It's one of the two
What's
major
that?
hood areas. So they
Oh,
have six zones in Atlanta. And yeah, Zone 6 is really bad. Zone 1 was really bad. Zone 1 is like Killer Mike came from there. T.I. is from there. That's like that was their banging grounds in the 80s, 90s, whatever. Um, and you just see it. Like I had a drive-by shooting within 2 months of moving in. My neighbor's house. Girl shot in the street. She's just there in the street bleeding. And then the other girls come out. The police were called. The other girls come out with guns, and I'm like, oh shit, this is like a neighborhood I was not. I was not ready for this. And so you just don't see the same opportunities in those neighborhoods. I mean, kids were going and like young kids that we knew from the block were being told by their trap house dad to go find people to befriend to steal from them. And it's like
wait,
the
trap house. Well, I don't know that. What does that mean?
trap house is a drug house. Like it's
Oh, okay.
specifically
All
a
right.
house that a bunch of people come to just sell drugs. And
Okay.
so yeah, so it's not nobody's really living there. It's probably under somebody's grandma's name or something, and then they are literally took it over and are using it to sell drugs. So yeah, there's like places like that. There you have the gangs, you have all that. These people don't have the schools aren't. There's no funding for schools. There's no grocery stores. There was no banks. There was no nothing. There was nothing to make their life any better for those people of color. So there's got to be a way to bring stuff into these communities so that these people can get jobs. They can get regular jobs that they can enjoy, that they can feel uplifted in their community and want to do over street shit. Like you got to figure out ways to make these people feel like there's something better for them. And it gives them more opportunities to get out of there without dying. And so I really want to help and work towards that. Like and that all kind of goes with my politics stuff too, like my political aspirations and really just wanting to give back. If I can make enough money, I'd rather give back than just hoard it.
Yeah. No, I think those are some good goals to have. Definitely. Okay. So, build your own enterprise, have a kid. Do you want a boy or a girl?
I don't. I guess I don't know. I never thought about which one I'd want.
Pick
I
boy.
feel like it's easier for the boy. Yeah, it would be definitely easier. But I'm the only person in the family that hasn't had kids yet, and all of my siblings have had only boys. No one, there's no girls in the family yet. So they're of course wanting me to have a girl.
No, dude, have a boy. My son's 22.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Like, if I had a daughter, she wouldn't date till she was 30. Fuck that. Like, I know how men are. Like,
Yeah, exactly. The extra protection
but
for sure. But no, I
yeah,
mean, I will.
and the other benefit of having a son is like if you need something done around the house, you can always have him come over and do it.
That's true. This is true.
Uh,
I do help a lot when I visit.
So, okay. So, oh wait, yeah, two last questions. So not porn, like your private life. If you could have sex in only two positions for the rest of your life, what would they be and why?
Okay, doggy is the best position for my dick because the way it curves, and it also just for the way it hits. Because then when it's coming out, no matter if it's a butthole, vagina, it doesn't matter. It hits the flat, that suction area where it's puckering. It's rubbing there perfectly as I'm hitting it, and that's the best place for me to bust my nut. Um, Otherwise, I mean, honestly, probably missionary because then I can look at you, we can talk, we can kiss. I can. It's more intimate. I feel like there's more of that intimate connection. But yeah, if I'm just trying to get it and you want me to hit hard, just flip you over, and we'll get it there.
Okay. All right. And then next question. Everything you've done, seen, heard up to this point in your life, if you had to give the audience one piece of advice and only one, what would it be?
Mm. Um, I would just say put everything into whatever you are pursuing. Make sure that you put 100% of what you have into what you want.
Mhm.
Because the only way you're going to feel 100% about what you're doing is if you've given 100%.
Yep.
Um, and only you can make yourself feel that way. No one else can bring that type of security to you besides yourself. And so it's just, being prepared is really like, I guess, be prepared for what you want.
Yeah. Like that. Okay. So for anyone who's watching this, who's like, "Oh my god, I love Tony. I have to see more." Where can they find you on Twitter, Instagram, uh, OnlyFans, all the anything and everything? Your
So I'll
YouTube.
make it very easy. Just like you said, my hosting site has so much content on it. So TonyGenius.com. You will be able to find everything from Instagram to Twitter to all of my fan sites, from sexting stuff if you want to communicate, get on the phone, get on video chats, all that kind of stuff. If you want to cam, I have my camming stuff. They'll have a schedule for you on there. And it will be highlighted at first with all the stuff, that subscription sites if you'd like. And then there's Pornhub as well. But on that hosting site, you will find every link that I possibly have, from everything from not safe for work to safe for work, and everything that's Tony Genius. So TonyGenius.com.
Okay. And for those of you listening, TonyGenius. And
Yeah.
then how would you, so if someone like wants to see all your content, I'm assuming subscribe to your Just for Fans and your OnlyFans. My question
Yeah.
is, if someone's not familiar with your content, how would you summarize or characterize it? Like, what could someone
It's a
expect to
it's
see?
it's a rainbow effect of porn. I guess kind of how I would describe it. I have everything, pretty much every genre you can think of, and I also like to categorize all of my stuff. So if you go to OnlyFans and you want to find something specifically, let's say you want three ways, there will be a list that says three ways, and you'll be able to look at all the three ways I've ever shot. Then there's the list of orgies, or there's the list of with women, or there's a list with trans. You'll have things broken down into specifics, so then it's easier for you to find the things that you want. I do that specifically so it's easier, just because I don't want people scrolling on through the feed to try to find something they like. You can also message me too, because I do have all of my media obviously within a tab. So if you send me a direct message and you're like, hey, I really want to see that video with you and Steve Ricks and all those guys at that Super Bowl orgy, and then I can send it to you straight from my media too. And so it's always good to get in contact with me. If there's anything that you need, feel free to reach out. I read all of my DMs on social media as well as on my fan sites. So I'm very active on who's reaching out to me and why. Now, if there's no substance, like it's hi or retweet for retweet, I'm probably not going to be receptive of that, or I'm not going to reply. But if it's something like, hey, man, I really am a big fan. I really love your work. You're going to get a reply from me, even if it's on, Instagram or if it's on Twitter. I'm not only interacting with people that are paying me. I really am excited to have anybody that's a fan of what I do reach out, and so I can actually get in contact with them.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, I am excited for it, and I'm thankful for you for having me.
Awesome. Tony, don't go anywhere. For those of you watching, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I will link Tony's stuff below. The YouTube will permit me to link, and you can find my stuff down there as well. And I hope you guys have an amazing week.
Yes.
Hey guys, just wanted to say thank you for watching this video, and if you did really enjoy it, I just wanted to mention there are two ways that you can help to support this channel. On the right side, there are three little dots. If you click those, there is a super thanks button, and on the left-hand side, there is a join button where you can join this channel. There are three different tiers of memberships. The top tier does actually allow one-on-one messaging with me via Discord, and I personally answer that. It is not a service. That's just, both of those are ways that you can help support me as a content creator in this channel. I mention this because YouTube is by far the thing that I enjoy doing the most. It's the thing I'm most passionate about. And unfortunately, a lot of the sexual videos, the porn star confessions, the Dom sub, all that stuff, it is not monetized due to the nature of the videos. But either way, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope you guys all have an absolutely amazing week. I love you all.